Welcome to Cooking with 412 Food Rescue, supported by a UPMC health plan. In each episode, you'll get a quick, simple, family-friendly recipe that is both nutritious and delicious, using ingredients you can find in any grocery store. Each recipe includes options for customizing it to your personal tastes and feeds up to 4 people. Join us at the Good Food Project, 412 Food Rescue's kitchen, to see what we're creating today. Today we'll be making a beef and kale stew. It's great for wintertime, it's great for springtime, it's packed with vitamins, it's delicious.
I love it because it also has whole grains in it, and soups freeze well, so if you don't want to eat all of it at once, you can freeze it and have a meal for another day.
Perfect. Let's get into it.
Wonderful.
For this recipe, you will need butter or bacon fat, or
You could use olive oil or canola oil.
absolutely, that's just to sear your beef in. You'll need stew beef. I like to break it down a little smaller than the way it comes, cut it in half essentially, each piece. Pull that out about 20 minutes before you're going to get started and give it a healthy dose of salt, a couple pinches, and let that rest at room temperature. You'll need some garlic, minced, your greens of choice. I'm going to be using lacinato kale.
What other greens could you use?
Any greens really, any fresh greens would be great. I know you like to use beet greens.
I do. Spinach? Is that
Spinach
something?
is perfect, absolutely.
But what a great way to use kale.
You'll need some beef broth. You can get this in a carton. You can make it from a demi-glace or a bouillon, but about a quart of that. And sometimes I start my dried mushrooms, the next ingredient, in this ahead of time, but that's up to you. If you have someone in the family that doesn't like the texture of mushrooms, which I find can be an issue for some people, you'll get the flavor and then strain them out before you use the broth in the recipe. If you don't mind that, you can cook them right in there. Some onion, a grain like farro or barley.
Wonderfully nutty.
Absolutely. Speaking of nutty, some canned pumpkin I like to use. You can also use canned tomato in this recipe, but I find the pumpkin with these fall spices, clove and nutmeg.
Great for digestion too, so
Absolutely.
wonderful addition.
And that's that. Thank you.
Yeah,
And that's everything. Let's get started.
wonderful.
So we've started here by heating our pot up. I use a heavy bottom pot. It distributes heat more evenly, but anything mid-size should work. Once your pot is hot, you'll add your butter or margarine or oil, or in my case, bacon fat. 3 tablespoons ought to do it. I cook a lot with bacon fat at home. I know it's not ideal for someone who needs to limit their nitrates or sodium, but it's great for saving waste. So once the bacon fat is heated up, it'll start to almost smoke a little. You're going to add your farro then, or barley, or whatever grain you've chosen. You're going to want this early on in the recipe because it's got to soak up a lot of that liquid. You treat it almost like you're toasting rice. And once you've got a really even coat on that, then you'll add your beef. What you're looking for with your beef is a hard sear. You can add your onions at this point. So you'll let it rest. You don't want to over stir it so that each side of the beef gets seared. So at this point, we've spiced our pumpkin mix with clove and nutmeg. We're going to throw that in. And your grains and beef will be wanting to stick to the bottom of the pot. That's okay. We're going to strip or deglaze that momentarily. Your onions should be starting to wilt and sweat a little bit at this point. That's perfect. Feel free to work that pumpkin mix in there. Now we're adding garlic. And finally our greens, our kale. Now you'll start to smell everything coming together, and that means it's time to add our broth.
chef is almost ready. The soup has been simmering for 30 minutes, and we're about to see how lovely this is.
All right.
Wow.
Beef and kale stew.
How fragrant.
Thank you. Let's get started here.
And there's so many colors in there. It really is eating the rainbow, eating whole grains, so wholesome. Good for your heart, good for digestion, all of the nutrition benefits from all of the vegetables that you have in there.
We like to finish with a little pecorino or Parmesan, horseradish if you're feeling adventurous.
Wow, thank
Let's
you.
eat.
Yay. This perfect winter weather dish is easy to modify with the grains and the greens. I hope you and your family enjoy making it as much as we did. Enjoy.
I hope you enjoyed today's demo. For more information about the Good Food Project and 412 Food Rescue, please visit our website. Find the recipes in the comments below, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.